Very disappointed with myself. I feel like I let him down somewhere. I'm very aware, and I do know that Robert did smoke weed. I do know he would eat edibles. But yet I just trusted him in my mind, thinking that's where he would stop. And I was clearly wrong. I mean, clearly wrong. I missed the mark.
I just got the news of Mary Cosby's son from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City about Robert Jr. passing away. And I literally had to stop myself from breaking out into tears.
It's truly heartbreaking to see what Mary Cosby is going through after losing her son. Robert reportedly died from a suspected overdose, but Mary believes there's more to the story. She says she was willing to send him to rehab or even let him stay in jail if it meant he could recover. Now she blames his ex-wife, Alexa Smokeoff, for contributing to his relapse and tragic decline.
When you have a relationship with your son and you want to give him the world, you want him to have a better life than you did, you know? I picked up and moved to New York for 8 years so that he can have the best education. He could be in a diverse atmosphere so he wouldn't be raised like I was raised. I was the only one in my class that was African American. They would play slave movies and the whole class would turn around and look at me. And I do blame myself. I feel like somewhere I missed the mark on.
If there's one thing viewers learned about Mary Cosby during her time on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, it's how deeply she loved her son, Robert Cosby Jr. She often shared that she struggled for 4 years to have him and described him not only as her child, but as her closest companion. So when news broke that he passed away at just 23, her life changed instantly. In a public statement, Mary and her husband, Robert Cosby Sr., said their son had been called home to the Lord. They expressed heartbreak but also faith, saying they believe he is finally at peace and thanking everyone for their prayers. Cast members from the Salt Lake City show have reached out with condolences and support during this painful time. Still, some details surrounding his death have raised questions. Police confirmed they responded to an overdose call at Mary's home and found Robert already gone. He had been open about struggling with substances like cocaine, Xanax, and Molly since his mid-teens. What began as experimentation reportedly became something much more serious after he left school. Mary has said she didn't fully understand how bad things were until she noticed he had grown distant and withdrawn, which pushed her to look deeper into what was happening.
I love you more than anything. More than anything in this world. I think I love you more than Dad. Like, don't ever tell Dad I said that.
Oh.
But you're my friend. You're my son. You're my gift. God gave you to me. You're the only thing that ever made me happy. Before I had you, I was never happy. You came and you were so real. You was everything I hoped for in a person.
When Mary realized how serious her son's addiction had become, she acted right away. She confronted the issue directly and made sure Rob entered rehab. Later, after he was arrested, Mary even said she felt he was safer staying in jail for a while because at least she knew he wasn't using drugs there or putting himself in danger without supervision. She was doing everything she could to protect him and give him a real chance at recovery. However, there was one person who remained closely connected to him throughout it all: his wife, Alexa Smokeoff. Their relationship went back to high school, around the same time Rob first started experimenting with drugs. What began as partying and hanging out slowly turned into a lifestyle. As the years passed, substance use became a shared habit and, in many ways, part of their bond. They posted openly on social media, sometimes showing pills or bottles of cough syrup mixed with soda. By the time they married in 2022, their struggles were already deeply rooted. Mary has said she didn't even know they had gotten married until police came to her Utah home with concerns about the situation. That was the moment she realized how serious things had become, and she made it clear she would not support behavior that put her son at risk.
You look
Hi.
cute.
Hi. What's going on? When's the last time you picked up?
Like an hour ago.
Oh, you straightened up an hour ago?
Yeah, just recently.
And did you drink out of that bottle an hour ago?
Yeah.
After Rob separated from Alexa through counseling and eventually divorce, Mary saw real improvement in him. He started eating better, gained weight, and seemed more focused and emotionally present. For a while, it felt like he was finally moving in a healthier direction. But Mary noticed a pattern. Whenever Alexa came back into his life, that progress would slowly fade. To her, that didn't feel random. Robert had already admitted that one of his biggest struggles was staying away from people who were still using drugs, especially when they relapsed. He knew being around that environment made it harder for him to stay clean. Even so, cutting ties wasn't easy. One of the hardest relationships for him to step away from was the one he had with his ex-wife.
All the people that I was like cool with, they all relapsed.
People close to the family say that even after the divorce, Alexa still had direct access to Robert. Their connection never fully faded, and that made it harder for him to move on. According to those sources, some of his most serious setbacks happened not long after he reconnected with her. Times that should have been focused on healing and sobriety often turned into emotional turmoil instead. There were also reports that when he tried to cut off contact, his behavior became unstable. In one situation, he was even arrested after going to her family's home because he believed she needed him to save her. It showed how deeply tangled their relationship remained. Even after the marriage ended, Mary believes her son's addiction played a major role in his death, but she also feels the stress and intensity of that relationship added to his struggles. She has privately wondered whether his life might have turned out differently if he had never met Alexa in the first place. Those close to Mary say she is completely shattered. She reportedly wishes she could have done more to shield her son from influences she saw as harmful. No matter what people think about her, many agree on one thing. She loved her son deeply. Robert Jr. was her only child, her pride, and someone she considered a true friend. Losing him at just 23 is a pain few can truly understand, and many are simply hoping she finds strength during this unimaginable loss.